I don't even know if I've recorded this or not, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. After the Memorial Day parade, the next day there was a recovery meeting in the evening. I biked there. I saw 2 dead birds, another decapitated with no head at all this time. These are signs for me. Okay, someone I know from the groups that's tried to get me. Her father is serving food there, and he was used to attack me this time. There was 2 coffee carafes. One said decaf, one said regular. He said, "Oh, I think they're mixed up. It was put in the wrong one." And then, so I got the one that had something extra in it. People knew not to get that coffee. People were coming up and they were getting the other coffee. And then I said, "I think I can tell which one's which one's decaf or regular." And I get 1 cup with each. And I said, "There's something in this one." I said, "Well, there's this one's regular, or there's something in it." And it's like, "Well, which one do you want?" And I said, "I'll take the..." And somebody else got coffee right out of the carafe as soon as it was done. So I'm like, "That's what I want." So then I threw away the other. So this man didn't necessarily want anything to happen to me, but he did what he had to do. And he gladly gave me the coffee out of the carafe. But I tested it first, and I think there was something in one of them, and people were getting the other one. But he told me they were flipped, so that if I got the one marked decaf, I would get the poisoned coffee. Nobody wants the decaf one. Anyways, drained something in front. Oh, the coffee was drained, and so then it was refilled wrong, I think. So when I showed up, I biked there, I showed up, there was no coffee at all. So then I went up, like, during the meeting, and then this happened. Next week, they had a CHIPS meeting. They had a video about narcissists and being with narcissists. This triggered somebody. So the homeless man who was living with his ex-girlfriend, he was like trying to pretend to be my friend this time, and sat in the row in front of me, came in later. And then the man that was reading this group looked at him and looked at me when he was talking about and someone might be a narcissist and you might want to get new friends. This is the honest truth. So the meeting had started. There was a speaker in front, and he was speaking to everyone. And then he turned, and so then the homeless man came and sat in the row in front of me. And the speaker, the man, one of the men who runs this event, said, "And someone might be a narcissist," and he looked right at the homeless man, and he said, "And might want to get new friends." This was a message to me. I know this was inspired. And then he also said, "You might want to ask yourself, am I a narcissist?" So then I could tell the homeless man was like, he was like caught or something. He still like tried to pretend to be my friend later. So, but this time I think this stopped whatever he had planned, and it was like I could tell. It's almost like I could see the manifestation of the demon in him, and it was angry, and it had like red eyes or something. But it was a message to me. The man looked right at him and at me, and this person might be a narcissist. So I already know. He works for the other team. I already know he's a warlock, but he's not happy. And I know they're enemies. I know they're working against me. But I thought maybe God wanted some of them to flip. I don't know if they will or not. But so the message was given to me now. It's time to make some new friends. And he also said, some people also say that about us. So maybe that was a message to, at some point, stop going to this group. So I did go the next week because they had, they were going to get special beef hot dogs for me. But after that, I have not went. So I don't know what they put in the coffee. Probably some other poison. But there's good people and bad people at this group, so um, I went to the booth. I went to the soup kitchen. I saw the coven members there, and they were talking, pretend to be my friend, like, oh, here's this dress, and then they kept mentioning it. I'm like, you're not gonna stop until I take this, are you? Like, and then they hit, and then I just take it. I said I took it. I knew it was cursed. It was just something from the free shelf in the back, like, but they kept asking, like, oh. So then I knew at that point I'm just gonna take it. I said this audibly. So there's another man that I recognize a lot of people from here. But I actually think this is a good person. I think maybe like a guardian angel. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't think he's an enemy. But he was sitting like 3-4 tables back or so. And he overheard this. They probably know people are trying to kill me. So then I said, I don't like the design of this. I don't really like it. I'm going to put it back. And I said, I'm going to go look at the free clothes on the table. So then they actually, now that they've cursed me, they leave. So they had to curse me, then they all left at the same time. And so this man, who was just in the background, I'm looking at the clothes, and he's like, oh, look at this coat. He's like, oh, take a look at this coat or something. I'm like, oh, I don't really. He's like, well, you never know. Look at it again. So then I pick up and I look at it. And actually, it is a pretty nice coat. And then I look more closely, and then there's like some little crumpled up pieces that look like fuzz or something on it. And then I smell the coat. And the coat smells like urine. He was trying to tell me to try the coat on. So the man was like, oh, look at this coat. And then he was like, oh, you might want to try it on. You never know. I didn't try it on, but I picked it up and I touched it. And then I noticed there was some little things on it, like crumbles. And then I smelled it. It smelled like urine. So, it smells like somebody had peed on it, but I didn't see pee, so probably it was put in a mouse cage or something. Mice had peed all over it. So then I had to go wash my hands. But what I think is this is a good man because they had cursed me, and who knows what their intentions were. But the curse was now used up. So I went and washed my hands with soap. Then it was almost time to close. The woman who's like really running the place now is like, oh, is something wrong, sweetie? And I'm like, oh, I think someone peed on this coat. I had to go wash my hands. They're like, oh, really? And she had to go get a bag and throw it away. I'm like, and then there was another woman in there, and she's like, that's why I hate people. Yeah, but they probably did that because I was going to get the clothes. But actually, as soon as I picked it up and I touched it, then the curse was used up. I had went to the Salvation Army. I don't know if this means anything. My pen was unscrewed again, even though I believe my bag was not accessible and it was locked. So I know someone did this before, but I think my locker was locked. But I don't know how that happened. But I went to Salvation Army to do my food pickup, and then the woman there had a pen. She gave me, and this is for a movie theater, and it says Regal Entertainment. So maybe, hopefully, this is a sign, like some royal entertainment. Come on. Right now I'm like Slumdog. Ouch. And I think witchcraft, my wrist has been really sore today. It's like hurt. I can hardly do certain things with my wrist today. Anyways, and I gave her my broken pen. I think she was happy to get that because she's kind of sitting behind the desk with nothing to do most of the time, and maybe this was a little bit of entertainment. So something I trade got chocolate. I think there was pork. If I got pork, I threw it away. I don't know. Oh, they had on the free table. They had chocolates, and so I got some. And then I stopped at by the men's homeless shelter. There's a little outdoor seating area, and there's a man there. And I said, "You like candy?" And I gave him one. He was happy, so that's good. But this might, I don't know, it might have been cursed. Now, it would probably not transfer to him, but it was something that was given out by the captains that are now leaving. So maybe they had cursed it and then they gave it to the children for the children to eat. This is what I'm thinking. So then all these candies were now being given away. So before, when there was a group, like they would put them at the table and the children would eat them. And now they were still there, but they were scheduled to leave. And all the candies they gave to everyone, including the children, were now being donated. So, oh, also, the father who had, I believe, tampered with the coffee, probably poisoned one of the coffees. He was probably put up to it by his daughter, who goes there and is an enemy. Because this man seems like a nice guy. I think his daughter told him to do it, but I could be wrong. But also, he said he lived in a 7-story building for 7 years, and the cookies that he brought in, so the cookies he brought in were $17. So these were my confirmations I was supposed to talk to him. He said he lived in a 7-story building for 7 years, and the cookies he brought in were $17. Now, I forgot to mention, I didn't want to stop at the soup kitchen. I didn't plan on it. But I was already at my booth, and the booth is real close to the soup kitchen. So I just stopped after. And when I was in there, I saw the coven. Now, before they gave me the dress and cursed me, I got a plate and there was some desserts on it. And I said, well, actually, I already ate some chocolates today, so I just, do you want my desserts? So I don't really feel like more sweets. I gave them my desserts, and they were happy to take them. So then they knew, and so they left right away. They got this information. Oh, I already had desserts for my lunch today, and so I gave them the desserts on my tray, and I didn't eat that much. So, actually, I just ate a bunch of sweets, and I don't really want any more dessert. So, this man normally cooks food and prepares food. He usually has soup. Well, guess what? This time, it was the only time I had been there that he did not make soup. This time, he bought cookies and brought in cookies. And why? Because I just told the coven that I already ate a bunch of sweets and I didn't feel like any. But actually, when I got that was like 2 hours later, and then I did eat like 4 cookies. So at that point, it was a couple hours later, and then I was okay to eat a few more. But he normally makes this really delicious soup, so I think probably his daughter told him that not to, or to bring sweets as a meal, because they found out I said that I don't really feel like sweets. So, but the cookies were $17, which meant that this was supposed to happen. And I found out they were a pretty good price for a big giant thing of them. And he told me where they were from. So now this man has given me his secret on how to make delicious soup. And he also told me how to get cookies that taste pretty good. They're affordable. So that was good. So comment on narcissists, Baptist church, wait for restoration. There's a witch there. She said she's a new me, but still improvements. I'm able to just talk. I when it's my turn to talk, I just try to mention things that answer people's questions or are relevant to me. There were spies. Oh! So, this recovery meeting, I am not saying anyone's name. This is private. So, as I said, I don't talk about private things that will identify people. But I do talk about our personal attacks on me, and attacks on others. It has nothing to do with the scope of the meeting. So if covens are attacking me, they use the assumed secrecy of the group. But that doesn't have anything to do with what they do. So anyways, the person leading the group was like, now some of the information and stuff spoken about in here is getting out there, and there's videos are getting out of so the person leading the group was like they got kind of stern, and they're like, some information from this group is getting out, and so I need to say the rules again, that we don't, and it said not allowed to record what goes on in this group. And so here's what I think. Okay, so the woman leading the group was angry And she was like, and I've heard, or maybe she just said, I've heard the information discussed in this group is getting out, or she just directly said that, and I'm going to go over the rules again. That's not allowed. And then immediately 3 women in the group. So we're on a circle. 3 women get up right away after she says this, and they leave. 3 women get up and leave immediately after she says this. So here's what I think happened. I think she knows I'm making these videos, and I'm saying what they do, and their attacks on me. And I think that's why she said, because when she started saying this, then I'm like, maybe she's talking about me because I make these videos. And I think she was talking about me. But when she said, here's the rules, you're not allowed to record what goes on in here, then immediately 3 women stand up and leave. And it turns out they had cell phones and they were recording the meetings. They were recording when I was there. They were recording what I say. And they do this to me in other groups too. And then they show it to other people. So this woman was hoping to tell me to stop making videos. But actually, there was other women that go in with their cell phones and record what everyone says, at least what I say, and then distribute that. So that is what you're not allowed to do. I'd say when the witches attack me. So the witches attack me. I'm still going to say that. I don't care. If a witch attacks me during a recovery meeting that has secrecy, well, too bad. Because this has nothing to do with the group. They would attack me no matter where we are, but they attack me in the group because you're not allowed to discuss anything. Well, this wasn't a discussion. This was an attack. And I think everyone would agree. Well, they say in some of the groups that, like, well, it's all private unless somebody is in danger. Well, guess what? I'm in danger when you guys attack me. So, I'm putting this out here. Anyways, God protects me, so. But, like, I think they're using heavy witchcraft. My wrist is real sore today. This is later. This is months later. So, okay. Then, I think I had to go to the bathroom. Or, wait. I remembered I left my bike light on. Yeah, that's what it was. So I had to run outside to turn off my bike light because I don't want all the batteries to be used up while I'm in the meeting. This ride, I actually need the light to get home safely. So there's no sidewalks. So then I go outside and I turn off my bike light, and there's a man I recognize from another group out there. And this also I'm not going to say anything about. But we had a discussion this time, and he lives with a narcissist, and I just told him to hurry up and get out now before they can because if you wait longer, he was thinking, oh, well, you know, if there's not his kids, someone else's kids are almost grown up. This is not, I'm not saying who this is, but, you know, he was thinking, well, they're almost grown up, and so then I said what happened to me, and how, just, you need to get out now, because they time it to do the most damage. And even if you get out like one day sooner, they can't hurt you as much, essentially, and they will hurt children to get you. But anyways, hopefully that helps him understand. And he also seemed he just seemed a little unhappy. But I just told him a few things that might have cheered him up. That's all. I'm not going to say anything else. But it's sad to have to settle and stay with a narcissist. You don't have to. It's better to be alone and get out. So this is not secret information. So many people have been with narcissists. You have no idea who I'm talking about. So many people have been with narcissists. So my advice to all of you is get out now. And I've told this to other people in recovery groups too. Okay, I guess when this meeting is over, there's the new man they brought in to attack me, And he actually didn't want to at first, because we actually spoke before they told him to get me, and he seemed like a nice guy. I knew he was in the coven. But then I just talked to him for like we just talked for like 1 minute or something when it was time to go. And I was able to tell him how people were putting stuff in my food to make me fat and doing fat spells, and God turned it all into muscle. Well, not all of it, but anyways, like, it's pretty cool. So then he like said something good about it. I'm like, he said, well, and God uses everything or I said God uses everything for good, and he's like, yeah, he said God uses everything for good, and then I agreed. So like, I didn't have to tell him. He said God uses everything for good, and then I agreed and expanded a little bit. So it was like letting him know God uses all the enemy's attacks. So I'm letting him know because he's with the coven. They're getting me. So I'm telling him, here's something the coven did, and God flipped it and used it for good. And he saw that. He said it first. So hopefully he can repent, because it looks like he wants to, but he's just in a situation surrounded by a coven, and probably living with them, or I don't know. Maybe he's homeless, but the only people he really knows are on the other team. So, but hopefully this will just I don't know, be a little motivation or something that he can look back on in the future and maybe join the right team, join Team Jesus. So I guess I'm at the soup kitchen. Okay, so the narcissist, and I realized with the first videos in the soup kitchen adventures, it might be confusing because there are more than one there's not very many narcissists. Let's say 1% of people are narcissists. When I first started going to the soup kitchen, there was a narcissist that was a black man. And then he tried to date me, and he was rude to me, and he tried to date me a few times. And then he would like follow me and show up at events, and like, oh, what a coincidence that I just happened to be here. And it was timed. He had a spotter. But anyways, like, and I told him, are you spying on me? I said, the whole town is. The whole town is spying on me. And then he said something, and then I'm like, why don't you go ask everybody else? Or why don't you go ask them? Like who I am or something, I don't know. Because the whole town's spying on me. Well, guess what? After I told him that, he stopped going to the soup kitchen. And I only saw him one other time. He like showed up like 5 months later for just a minute and then left to see. He just was seeing me. I'm still here, and then he left. So he stopped going to the soup kitchen. So he went to try to get me. He couldn't. I told him, go ask the whole town spying on me. Why don't you go ask them? And so then I guess he did, because he didn't come back. But anyways, there's a different narcissist. So then shortly after that narcissist left, there was another narcissist. This one has long blonde hair. This one is a white man. So there's two narcissists. The one, when I first went to the soup kitchen, was a black man. And the one that volunteers there is a blonde-haired man. And so he admitted some of the witchcraft spells he did on me. So I went to the soup kitchen, and I know I had burns on my face, and they were going to have another dance, and then I had burns on my face right before the dance. And then they never invited me to this. Or I said I'd go to the next one. There was one that was only 10 miles away, not 30 miles away. And then nobody went to this. So because I said I would go to the next one, then nobody went to that one. And they also did magic and then there was burns on my face. And so when I went to the soup kitchen, this is like a week or so later, and my skin has healed. Then the narcissist said, your skin looks good. He's like, your skin looks good. And he was surprised. Like the way he said it, he was expecting my face to look bad. But it had healed. It did look bad, but I stayed home a lot, and then it healed. It healed like a week later. So what he said is, your skin looks good. He was surprised. He was expecting it to look bad, because they must have been doing a lot of witchcraft for my skin to look bad. He admitted it. He did a beauty spell. And he was also getting some treatments done to his skin, probably doing the curse on me so that he would get the good skin and steal it from me. Anyways, then I saw MK Ultraman. He was on a different bike and it was red. Well, what did I say about the color red? A lot of times the enemy wears red or the enemy drives a red car. This time MK Ultraman had a red bike. And I never did like red cars. I remember being a kid and I don't like red cars. I never did. And now I actually know that this is one way the enemy identifies themselves is they will wear all red. So I had not been to the soup kitchen in a while. I just stopped by this one time because I was leaving my booth and it was right there. And I thought, maybe I'll stop by. And then I see MK Ultraman on a red bike. And I see that I want to say Fat Man because I'm not trying to be mean. There is a man that went to the soup kitchen that is very big. He is very large. So I think like he just goes to every soup kitchen and gets all the free food because they probably couldn't, he's got a family. They couldn't afford the food if it wasn't free. Then they always try to get seconds. So it's funny. Well, and I saw Puppy Man too. So as soon as I left the soup kitchen, Fat Man and Puppy, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. If somebody weighs like 400, 500 pounds, I don't know. I don't want to say big because that can be strong. This man likes to eat a lot. But I still see good in him. But he tries to get me, but it's nothing. This man doesn't try to kill me. He just tries to get me in other ways. So I don't think he's that bad. He's probably paid $20 to get me, and then he goes and buys some pizza or something with it. He's addicted to food. So that's how they pay addicts. Anyways, outside of the soup kitchen are two men sitting there, Fat Man and Puppy Man. And they both look sad, and they both look guilty. And they haven't seen me in a while. Now, I didn't go since Easter. I don't know how long it's been since Easter now. But I just stopped this one time at the soup kitchen. The coven's there. The coven curses me. And when I leave, Fat Man and Puppy Man are outside, and they look sad, and they look guilty. But then MK Ultraman was like right outside on his red bike, and he waited till I came outside and could see, and then he biked away. So maybe he wanted me to see he was on a red bike, and this is a sign he works for the other side because it's red. I think so. Okay. And something I had heard recent, so I should have recorded this sooner because I actually did not write down all the context and other things that came up, so it's not making as much sense. But there was a pastor or someone said something, and then that made me think of this. So maybe this was mentioned in church. King Herod expected Jesus to have money. Okay, this was said in church. King Herod expected Jesus to have money, but he didn't, and he stayed with other people and rode a donkey. So when King Herod heard about Jesus, he was interested. But then when he met Jesus, he didn't have any of this worldly stuff. He didn't have money. He probably didn't even have a place to stay. So the equivalent of sleeping on a couch surfing or something, I don't know. But maybe he did have a place, but he didn't have money. And that made me think King Herod, when he dealt with me, then I would say I did not have money, I did not have a career, I didn't have anything like that. So he probably didn't think twice about devaluing me, and that was it. But he did kind of seem like he liked me, but he also attacked me. And actually, when I call King Herod, this man said many times, so he admitted what happened to him. Just like other relatives, like I have, so some of my family members, not all of them, but some have mentioned excuse me, things in their past that caused them to be possessed by spirits. I know a relative that fell down the steps, had to have surgery, when they woke up, they saw spirits. Okay, I know another relative admitted to using Ouija boards. Then Sun Hat Man said he used to use Ouija boards, so that's how he's got his spirits. Even though he says he follows Christ now, he still did the Ouija board, and is still not living a sinless life, so is influenced. King Herod, something happened. He possibly was drugged by a narcissist. He had a car accident, ended up going the wrong way. He woke up, didn't remember what happened, and he was fine. So that's when he was possessed with the King Herod spirit. They admit what happens. A lot of people dabble in the Ouija board, then they pick up spirits. They might have an accident, they might get a surgery, they wake up, they don't remember. He mentioned this so many times, and yes, I do know. That's how you got the King Herod spirit. On my way home from this meeting, I just see a bunch of roadkill. But see, these are messages for me. They're not normally. They're not like normal animals that just died or got run over. Like, they are placed there by someone. And I would notice they'd all be perfectly flat. But right after I said they're all perfectly flat, like someone put them in a press, then they're starting to put different shaped ones. And then I saw a squirrel with its eyes popping out. So they were watching my videos, probably they're bugs in my house. And then they changed the appearance of the roadkill after I said that. But anyways, on my way home from the recovery meeting, this is like a 5-mile ride, I saw 2 more dead birds. So remember, on the way there I saw dead birds. On my way back I saw 2 more different dead birds. And I saw a dead bunny, and it was not squashed. Yeah, I said I was sick of sweets. The narcissist said my skin looked good. Okay. He admitted to cursing me. Okay. So I saw just a lot of roadkill. And I think I saw 2 rabbits. Now I'm on May 27th. Told neighbor. Twitch lived. Okay. So there was people like remodeling, it looked like they just bought this house where the warlock had been taken out. There was a bunch of police, like right across the street, couple houses over. Well, I cleansed and purified my street. I prayed over my street. And I don't remember. It wasn't the normal one. It was a different one. This is before, like now there's something I'll pray, but this was different because this was before. So I don't remember exactly what I said. But like basically stopping like any principalities, I think, or powers on my street. So I got rid of them. The next day, there were like 3 police officers with drawn guns going towards, like they're right there. They're like 10 feet in front of that neighbor's house when they're walking towards it. And then the day after that, there's an ambulance and someone gets escorted out. So I know they're gone. Then the house is for sale for a long time. And then finally it's not for sale anymore. And then there's a team that's in there renovating it. And so they're renovating it for a while, like a week or 2. And then I see him outside. And now I finally had a shower recently. So I go over there and I tell him. And they're like Hispanic. So I'm not sure like how much they understand. But I think they understood what I said. I told him a warlock lived there before, and they should probably get a priest to pray over the property or to do an exorcism. So I told him, so I'd let them know, but maybe they were in on it too. I don't know. They might be, because I just saw one of the people lived there. Their vehicle was smashed up, so they probably were spying on me. They got paid and spied on me. I don't know. But I did inform them this day about the previous owner. And that they should probably get an exorcism on their property. Get a priest. I looked at my watch. When I look at my watch, it was 7:11:11. And then there was a song playing. Okay, I don't know. 5:28:26. This is when I went to the Salvation Army. They had a free table, rolls. Oh, I got 4 packages of rolls. They were just giving them out. They gave them to me. Oh wait, no, I picked that because I could either get the rolls or I could get like pasta and oats. But those needed to be boiled on the stove, and there are problems with my stove, so I don't use it to cook. Um, so so I just got 4 packages of those Hawaiian rolls. And then I biked home and I just had so many that I just saw the neighbor out at the end of the block and I gave 3 of them to, and I was like, "Jay, do you want any rolls?" And they're like, "Oh," and I showed them like, "Oh, those are the good kind." And I gave them 3 of them to the neighbor. And they were happy. They were happy then, but later they weren't because the man that lived there looked real mad and he was standing there looking at me and like blocking me from the other people in the house. I don't know why. Maybe the rolls were expired. I was thinking, are they mad because the rolls were expired? Because all the bread you get at the food pantry is expired. But I ate some. I had 4 packages. I took one home. I ate some and I gave the rest to my dogs. So I thought maybe he's mad at me because these are expired, but I just got them that day, and I didn't really notice. Like, I assume they probably are, but they didn't have mold or anything on them, so I thought they were okay. So I thought maybe that's why, but now I'm thinking maybe it's for a different reason because of the biker war that was going on. This is right about when the biker war started. The bikers coming under God's judgment, and then they try to get me. They were trying to kill me because it's Judgment Day. I said it's Judgment Day, so they kept trying to kill me. It wasn't as it. I think it's kind of stopped, but you know what? Maybe I think they're still trying to get me, but not as much. They were really trying to get me for like a week or so, maybe a couple weeks, and now like it's not that much. The black gangs, they kept coming for a long period of time, and that was a lot more dangerous. So this isn't as bad. When the black gangs came, it was like a month, and they were sending killers like every day. But the bikers, they're using witchcraft. So I think the black gangs actually were physically sending people and shooters and people in vehicles to like physically kill me. The bikers are actually using more witchcraft and spells. So that's what they were doing. Now, they probably were trying to kill me too, because I kept seeing the police arrest people when I would bike by. But anyways, so now I'm thinking maybe that man at the end of the street was mad at me because he knew someone that was hurt. Because God is rendering judgment. When somebody tries to hurt me, then they get karma. And then they keep coming. And so I'm kind of thinking maybe this is why that guy got mad. But this was probably the activation of something. I mowed my lawn. Free stuff. Stop sign. Oh, okay. Then remember the digital signs in my neighborhood. It was said 9. Oh, okay. It said 71 degrees. 71 degrees yesterday, and it said 77 degrees today. And the sign had my birthday on it. It had the month and the day I was born on the sign. As I looked at it, and it was 11/11 when I looked at my watch. There was a sign that said a free meal tomorrow, so I knew to go there. A sign for a free meal. Friday, May 29th, there was ham. Okay. Oh. Oh no, that doesn't say ham. That says 11 a.m. Okay, I should have taken better notes. Sorry, guys. So then I notice as I'm biking, I leave my house, and like a block past my house, there's a little sign in the grass, and it says a free meal tomorrow, and it says the location, and it says 11 to 2. So of course I'm going to show up. It's like somebody placed it there. They placed it really close to my house, but just not right in front of my property. They don't want to make it too obvious. But it was like a block up, right where I would see it. And it turns out this is a medical festival. They give you like goodie bags of free meal, and they do research, and it's less than a half mile from my house. There are 2 of these in the country. They get test subjects and they do research on health. It's less than a half mile from my house. Just like there's a blood draw place that's less than a half mile from my house. The next one is more than 100 miles away. So this is no coincidence. It's like they knew this property was saved for me. And now they got their people to try to research me, and they're stationed nearby. But of course I'm going to go and get their free meal. Okay, so I went to the park for a shower. Oh, there's a splash pad. So I put my swimsuit under like some shorts, or I wear some shorts and a swim top, and I go take a shower on the splash pad. Because it's fresh water, it's not recycled. And well, it was really nice about so I looked up the fresh water and why there are so many benefits to having fresh water that continuously runs. Yes, it uses a lot of water, but it's much cheaper than ones with recycled water, and it's much cleaner. So the ones that recycle, they'll say is green, it's environmentally friendly. Actually, no, there's bacteria can get in that, and it's recycled. And think how dirty and nasty that water would be being recycled. But it says to use the fresh water is cheap. It can just pump out a bunch of water all day long, and it hardly costs anything because water is cheap and it's clean. So that's why the demons and devils want to push like water conservation, because we don't need to conserve water. Every day, angels measure the amount of water on earth and they replenish it. It says this in scripture. There was a spy on the road. There was a spy in the park wearing a maroon red shirt and had the phone out and was facing me. I think he was recording me. So there was a spy I saw on the road. So then when I got to the park, there was a spy at the park and he had a cell phone. He was wearing a red shirt. I think he was recording me. And I had little shorts on, and I was taking a bath in the splash pad. So they get to record and send to their covens. Actually, like, I probably look pretty good because I got my shorts on. I was gonna say, I probably look pretty good. I'm the celebrity of the town now, because they all try to kill me. They spy on me. So they keep trying to get me. It's like Tom and Jerry, and then they record me and talk about me and show it to their friends. And now I'm out. They never seen me in any shorts, and now it's on the video. So maybe it looked good. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want them to look at me, but they look at me in my house. So I can't. I don't have any privacy. They send bugs in my house. They look through my window. They stop in the middle of the road and try to look in. The second I open my front door, they're spying. Okay. Oh, as I was going to... Okay. So this research thing, it was a little research fair. I just gave him my email and my info. I got my free stuff. I got a free meal. It was actually good. And as I was going there, I saw, I believe this is another spy. Because there was just a man walking, and he was wearing red. And he was just walking like a block before this place where there were free meals were. The Medical Research Fest. He was like a block in front of that, just kind of walking in the median in the road. For no reason, and he was wearing red. So, it wasn't, you wouldn't know otherwise. But the red identified this man as a spy. And nobody would just be walking in the middle, like there's the right, like, 2 lanes, like oncoming, and so nobody would just walk in the middle of this for no reason. Then I actually listened to an Iron Maiden CD, and I realized Kim Clement sounds just like the singer in Iron Maiden. So that's what makes him so popular. He's got that, I want to say rock star. That, whether the 80s, 90s rock, like death metal. Well, I forget what it's, heavy metal. Kim Clement, who has prophecies, he also prophesied about a woman coming in. And so he prophesied about Buffalo Calf Woman. He prophesied about President Trump. He prophesied about a Jubilee. He prophesied about Buffalo Calf Woman. He didn't say Buffalo Calf Woman, but he described Buffalo Calf Woman. And I think it's me. No, I'm not saying I'm the only one. There could be a lot more people like me. I just haven't seen them. It could be just me, or it could be a million others. I don't know. So I'm not claiming what I don't know. But I do know that I seem to fit the definition in all of the prophecies, and a Native American saw me and was freaked out and confirmed to me, I guess I'm Buffalo Calf Woman. Well, Kim Clement prophesied about this woman. And he prophesied, and his voice sounds like Iron Maiden. And that sounds pretty cool. He prophesied about QAnon and more. And he prophesied about there being two presidents at the same time. So this is like when Biden and Trump were. It is so weird. And this is like decades before. A spy, 1 to 2 spies making sure I go to the medical expo. They had beef hot dogs and beef brisket and pop. And oh, I'm getting hungry reading this. They gave me something I needed. They gave me something God provides. The Lord provides. And I'll show you how the Lord provides. Because, like, I went to get another fake nail put on. Because if you haven't heard, I was poisoned by the devil. And now one of my toenails doesn't grow in. So I just got like a little bit. And then I have to go and pay to put a fake one on. And then I tried to cut my own nails. And I cut them way too short and messed them up. Because I guess my clippers were too big. They're probably men's clippers. This medical expo, they had a little goodie bag. They had I didn't know they'd have a free goodie bag. But I thought they just had a free meal. Well, they had a free goodie bag. And this was in that goodie bag. Not these tweezers, but tweezers, nail tools, and nail clippers, and they are the right size. So God knew I needed this. God knew I needed this. So when I went to the medical expo, seriously, they had like some pieces of candy and this. And I think there was maybe a cup too. There was the water bottle, which now I probably have to throw away because a witch just poisoned it. So I'll probably throw away. But this was the real prize. Like, out of the goodie bag, this was the good thing that was in there. The other stuff was cheap. And this is just what I needed. Because I keep, like, whenever I try to cut my nails, I do it way too short. And then there's barely any left. And they looked at it. They couldn't even paint them. So then, God made sure I needed this. I needed this. Like, they're kind of flimsy, but this is just what I need. Like, a lot of these clippers are too big, like, for women. So, this is perfect. And this is, and I know this sounds dumb, but this is God providing. I had a need. I had a pair of clippers. It was too big. And when I try to use them, like, I cut too much of the nail off. And God knew they were too big for me. And so there was a sign right by my house, free meal. I show up, it's a medical expo. There's 2 of them in the country, and one of them is less than a half mile from your house. And they gave out these nail clippers, which is what you need. How did they know? I needed the water bottle too, but, now it's been poisoned. And actually it tasted like plastic anyway, so I don't know if it's I think it's BPA free, maybe not. Okay, so that was God providing. It was a need I had. I know this is silly, but I'm not spending much money. I'm trying not to spend any money, but actually sometimes I'll go out and I'll buy a Blizzard at Dairy Queen, or sometimes I'll go buy a chicken meal. I really, didn't have the money to do this, but, I did a little bit. But I still wasn't buying anything else. There was, months I didn't buy even a bottle of water. I bought nothing. So, I buy very little, and I don't have the money to go and buy nail clippers and things. So, but now, every once in a while, I'll go buy something, yeah. And that's when I do buy something, I put it up here. Because usually when I buy something, it's got signs and synchronicities and 17s on the receipt or something. I gotta find out where I am. Okay, I was at the park. I ate at the park. Okay, maybe this is the next. So I took a shower in the splash pad the day before or something. I went back. So I got my meal to go. There wasn't really a good place to eat it. I didn't want to eat it there. So I thought I'm going to bike down to the park and eat it there. And then I ate it there, and then I'm going to rinse my hands in the splash pad after. The food was really good. I told other people about this free meal. And in this town, nobody wants the free food. They're like, oh. They kind of look down. In this town, people look down on you. Like, my whole life, if someone was like, free food, I'd be like, oh, that's great. I want it. But now, whenever I try to tell people about free meals or something, like, oh. They like, look down. They look down on me. And they don't go, and they're not interested. Oh, they gave me a little towel, water bottle, a cup, some candy, and a little pad of paper that will fit in my small bag. Okay. I signed up as a healthy test subject. That must be the most rare. Someone my age on no medication, very rare. And I just recently got antibiotics, but before then, nothing. Nothing for 17 years. Oh, actually, I did go to, when I had a month with insurance. And when I had the insurance for 1 month, I went in and I had my toenail ripped out so that it would grow in again, and then it got messed up again. Like, I was with the devil. He was using witchcraft to mess this up. I think maybe if I have it pulled out again, that it'll grow in right. It's just, like, I don't have money to do this. And I don't have insurance. I have nothing. So after I washed up, I biked a different way. So the way I normally go back home, I actually biked around the stadium area, and then I ended up on a different road. Oh, ow, ow. And my wrist is messed up. Oh, what I normally do, I can't do right now. And so I left. I went down a different street, and then I bike like a few blocks on this road. I'm not really sure where I am, but I know about where I am. And then I've got my soda. I've already eaten all my food, but I have not drank any of my soda yet. So then I'm just outside. It's hot, and I stop on my bike, and I'm like, now I'm gonna open my soda. Now I want to drink it. And I open it, and it like explodes, and it sprays a bunch of pop, and it gets on my bag, and like probably, I don't know, 10%, 20% of the pop, it just sprays out. Makes a big mess. Now, I thought maybe this is a curse, but actually, I think that God did this. And then I realized that where I have stopped, there's a house that's like the same color as mine, and it also has a curved arch above the pillars. This is the only one I've seen with a curved arch above the pillars. And it's like the same color as my house. So it's still not quite as nice as mine, but even though mine is wrecked. But it looks similar to my house, and I would not have noticed this if the pop didn't spill, because I was just going to open it, take some drinks, and keep going. But because the pop like overflowed, it sprayed right there, then I took a look at the house, and I talked to the people working on it too. I think I was supposed to. And they mentioned a house color too. But, yeah, I don't know. They mentioned dark green. So the color of the house was kind of like the color this one was being painted. And they said, oh, and then I walked up and I talked to there was a team there. There was a man there. And I said, well, what's the name of that color there? And he said, oh, the old color or the new color? I'm like, oh, that's the old color. And then they had swatches for new colors. And they decided to go with this kind of muted, darker green. And like, is this a sign for me? I don't know. Probably not. But I talked to him a bit. He said that people had bought this house, and they had a lot of work done to it. And it did look nice. But I think mine would be even better if it was fixed. But I think I was supposed to. This was a divine meeting. I think I've recorded this separately. This is the only house I've seen with arches like mine above the pillars, and it was also beige. So then I turn. Um, oh, never mind. So this road, I turn at the house. I keep going a few blocks, then I turn back. Because, like, when my pop overflowed, I saw the house. I noticed the house. But then I just turned and I biked. And then, like, 2 blocks down, I keep thinking about the house. I'm like, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go talk to the people working on it. Or I'm going to go look at it again. So then I backtrack and I look at the house some more. I backtrack and look at the house some more. And then I talked to, and there's people there from like Sherwin-Williams painting the house. So I thought maybe this is a sign for me because this was a historic home. It's the only one with the curves over the pillars, and it was getting fixed up. And they've done extensive work to it. And I talked to the man for a while. Okay, and then after I talk to them, then I turn and I start heading down that road again, the one I was on. And then I just happen to bike right past the synagogue, and this is the only synagogue within a 50-mile radius. So, I think that's right. So, this synagogue, there are no other synagogues within more than 50 miles, and this synagogue has mostly shut down. They don't hold weekly services. They only are open on like holidays. So this is also, I made a video about military judgment, and also this is a message for the Christian churches and for the mosques too. The ones that will reform will be successful. The ones that don't will be like that synagogue. It's the only synagogue in more than 50 miles on any direction, and it's not even open except for holidays. But I remember looking the synagogue up before and like thinking I wanted to stop by. But I wasn't really sure where it was. And the directions were less clear. Well, then I just happened to bike right past it. I'm like, and I stopped and I went and looked. This is a total coincidence. I just biked right past it. And probably none of this would have happened if the pop did not overflow. The pop didn't. So that's why I'm thinking maybe this wasn't a curse. Maybe it was God. Or maybe it was a curse and that God allowed it. for like all things are used for good. For those that are called and living in obedience. That those that are doing what God wants them to. All things work together for good. Of course, if you're doing what God wants you to, they'll work together for good. And of course, if you're not listening to God and you're not being obedient, all things don't work together for good. Because, see, God's plan is good. But when you have your own plan, that's not always good. So we have free will. God's plan for our lives is the best plan. So if you choose to do something else, then not everything will be good. But if you choose to do what God wants, everything will be good. If you choose to do something else, not everything will be good. It's not God punishing you. It's just that you're not working with God. So God's plan is the best, and if you don't choose that, you choose something else, then it's not as good. Okay, I'm just rambling on here. Let's see. Okay, that's when and then after I leave the synagogue, I start to head back because I don't want to get lost. And then I turn to try to find a major road to get back home. And then as soon as I hit a major road and I see lights, I think I hear like a noise from a vehicle. And then I look and there is a military funeral procession. So, what day is this? This is the 29th, so maybe the 25th was when they probably tried to kill me at the Memorial Day thing because I was coughing very severely for like 10 minutes. I was coughing real bad. So this might have killed me, but God protects me and doesn't let me be hurt as bad. So the enemy always intends more, but God always stops the majority of it. So for how hard I was coughing for the like 10 minutes or so, at least 5 minutes of solid coughing, for how severe that was, it was probably an attempted murder. So here, no. So I got my free meal. I ate it at the park, rinsed off at the splash pad, went and I saw this house getting fixed up that looked a little bit like mine. Then I biked past the synagogue. Then I turned around because I don't want to go the wrong way or anything. I hit a main road, and as soon as I hit the road, there's a funeral procession coming, and it's a military funeral procession. The first person looks at me, and so they know who I am. They know who I am. I don't, like, I think I know who I am, but I'm still not. Nobody has told me. Nobody has told me who I am. I've just put the pieces together, and I'm going to tell you what I think. But other people know who I am. And they knew. They got karma. The military got karma. This is the day that there was the military funeral procession, and it's right when I hit that road. There it goes. They were surprised to see me, and I did not expect to see them. Then I go back to the park again, now to wash my hands again and to wash my bag where pop sprayed all over it. There's a woman with a little dog. I eat the candy. There was probably gelatin in some of this, and so I have to repent before the Lord, as the free candy has pork in it. I go home, I go to the gym, there's a new employee. They go in, as soon as I go into the bathroom, they go in and get in the good bathroom. There's a stall that's big and it's got its own sink. So as soon as I go in there, and this time the employee goes in and takes it. Normally they'll just send a person, like, they normally send like a hired, they normally hire someone, or it's like a witch. Will go in the bathroom, spy on me, try to mess with my stuff. If my locker's unlocked, they'll go in there. Or they just go in the good bathroom so I can't. I mean, stuff like that. And last time I was in there, they're like trying to look at me, when I'm taking a shower. So anyways, this time it was a new employee. When I leave, I see cops, like 5 cops. There was an arrest being made on my street and a couple blocks down from my house. I pull into the back. Good boy. I pull into a gas station. Oh, okay. So now I see, as I pull into the gas station, because there's cops all around, I pull in the gas station because it's before the light. Then I see a man with a really cool bike, and his handlebars are way up here. And I think the bike is red. But he's got a basket on it with speakers in it and these really tall handlebars. So his bike looks cool. So, of course, then I see him, and then I'm going this way, but then I turn sideways. I go back, and I go talk to him about his bike. And he told me, like, the bike shop, they put it on. And I said, I like your bike. But then I realized, and there's people getting arrested on the next street. There's people getting arrested on my street. This gas station is, like, on my street. So the gym is down. To go to the gym, I go down a block and then go on that road that's parallel to my street. This is on my street. The gas station is in between these two roads. And this man has the cool bike, which he's trying to lure me. And I think it's red, too. I think it's red. But I've never seen a bike with the high handlebars. They're, like, way up here. And he's got a basket on the front with, like, speakers in it, like boombox speakers. So he's listening to music while he's biking like this. And so I just gotta go and say, oh, it's a cool bike, like, and I talk to him a bit. Then when I leave, I realize there's like 5 cop cars. People are getting arrested. So he was probably bait, and then they were gonna try to kill me. But the police stopped them before they could get me. The cops said, like, they are doing God's work. I'm gonna say they are doing God's work. But at the same time, somebody said to me, they're like a gang too. And I said, I don't know. So maybe, I said, maybe at the end of the month, I'm going to go have coffee with a cop. But right now, I don't know. But what I do know is they are arresting people that are trying to kill me. And that is good. But are they like a gang? Well, probably. Because every group is. I have found every group is. So, probably. But they are doing the Lord's work, and they are saving me, so that is good. And I didn't know that there was going to be people trying to kill me. But when I did know, so if someone is getting arrested on my street near my house, then I'm just going to assume it's to get me. But then I see a man I have never seen before with a really interesting bike, and they know I'm a cyclist. He is the bait. So I was going to pull into that gas station to go talk to this man instead of turning at the light. And then they had people in vehicles ready to run me over or something. But the police got him first. And so I knew they were there for me because there was the bait. But even if there was no bait, this was very close to my house. So they're always there for me. They're always there to get me. There's a man in a red shirt, nice weather, bike to end a block. 3 to 4 cop cars have someone arrested there. So there is more. So by the gas station, I think I put 5 cop cars, and then I go down a couple blocks around where my house is, and then there's like 3 to 4 more cop cars, and they have arrested someone else there. So they arrested these people at the gas station. They were trying to lure me there. There was the man at the gas station. A couple blocks down is where I turned to go to my house. Then there's 3 to 4 cops there, and they've arrested someone else. So I know it's for me. And this happens all the time. When I'm coming, when I'm going. Almost every day. When I'm coming and when I'm going. Almost every day they've got people. Okay, so. If you love me, keep my commandments. John 14:15. I keep hearing this. Now when the churches want to do the right thing and repent, or they just want me to think they have. They try to trick me, but you can't fool God. They say this verse. If you love me, keep my commandments. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, there is a Revive Ohio event at the fairgrounds all day. It's their 10-year anniversary on the sign. So I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'm just going to finish this top part here and then stop. There was motorcycles zipping around making a bunch of noise last night. It says, I believe I heard I was with the devil a long time. He likes to speed. He gets road rage. He likes to make people uncomfortable. There's a sound. The way he drives has a certain sound to it. So I thought I heard him driving by my house. I used to hear him driving past my house all the time when I first moved here. Not so much recently, but I thought I heard him again today. The sign, when I was out biking around, then there's the sign. The sign says the weather. The sign says the weather. The sign says the time. A lot of times there are significant numbers and 17s. Well, it said 71 degrees, and then there was a number after that, and it had my birth year reversed in there. I saw more roadkill. I saw a decomposing possum and squirrel. I'm biking. Okay, so I think I am biking to the Revive Ohio event. So this is before it starts. So the Revive Ohio event is at the fairgrounds, and it's all day. There was a bunch of motorcycles making noise, driving past my house real loud last night. I didn't realize that they were at war with me. I didn't know this then. I just thought it was unusual. But now I know they did it on purpose. So I'm biking to the Revive Ohio event, and 2 bikers they are on the road. I'm on the sidewalk. They go on the road past me, and they turn right in front of me. And they're going into like a funeral home. So they weren't going there. They pulled in front of me for me to see that there was a man and a woman, and they were biking separately, and the woman had her own bike. They were letting me know they had done the reforms. I didn't know there was a biker war going on. Until this point, it was really clear. I did not know. I thought, oh, that's unusual that I'm hearing a bunch of bikes revving their engines right past my house. I thought that was kind of unusual. This day, I knew for a fact now what God was doing. Because as I'm biking to the Revive Ohio event, then 2 bikers passed me on the road and turned right in front of me to show me. Because before, All the women were in the back and they didn't have their own bikes. Now, there's a man and a woman and they each have their own bikes and they're the same type of bike. And this is God's law. When you eat a meal, so the man is responsible for the provisions. He eats a meal, he gets that same quality, that same type of meal for his wife. When he buys himself a clothing, he gets the same quality of clothing for his wife. He doesn't get better and she gets worse. So here, this couple, they both had bikes and they had like the same bike. So they were letting me know they had done the reform. And now I knew there is a bike war going on. And then I remembered all the things I had seen recently and all the motorcycles I was hearing. And I'm like, okay, that was. So now I understand. There are no coincidences. Okay, a man's driving by as I'm biking. He yells a curse at me out of the truck. Before, oh, okay. So actually, I think this is when I'm in my driveway and I'm gonna turn out onto the road. A man drives by and yells a curse at me. Big guy at Fair Free Food. I show up at 3:30. Oh, I saw the pastor from the radio station. I put that video on here. I actually I saw their video on Facebook, so I saved it and then I uploaded it here and I edited out like the location. But a man greeted me and prayed for me. So there was a group of people when I came in and they were ready to swoop up, pray for me. They were trying to get me in a church. So I told him a little bit, and I go to different churches, and I haven't found the right one. So I was recommended to one church that I actually really liked, but now I found they've also they're doing the same witchcraft now. But maybe this pastor will repent. Maybe he'll be the one to turn everything around. Maybe he'll be the one to flip and save the churches. I don't know. But I did see him practicing witchcraft magic, and now he's joined the club like all the others. But, good boy. What I'm saying is they recommended me to that church. And then I said, well, I've been there, but there's covens in there. I don't know if I said covens, but, I said it's a good church. I've been there, but, that there's like witches and stuff in that church, and so I know I'm supposed to go different places now. And so they mention another church. There's a woman there, and she says that you can use me as a resource, and she's being real nice. So I believe this is a trick. It seems too good to be true. It's a trap. It's a trick. So like they swoop in, and they immediately want, like, here's a friend, or we found somebody, and they want to get me in a church. And I think this was a trap. They also, it could be a good man. It seemed like a good man when I showed up. I mean, some of these people are probably good. I just don't know. It's just that there's always an enemy too. So let's say there's 50 people. Maybe there's 3 enemies in there. So I'm not trying to bash every Christian person. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is there are enemies in these events, and they come after me and target me. But anyways, as soon as I walk in, there's a man there, and he wants to pray for me, and he prays for restoration and revival. And restoration is revival, and this is the Revive Ohio event. And then there's a speaker, someone talks about born again, and I'm also, this is when I find out that there is a service at the park in the morning at the amphitheater where a lot of different Christian pastors come and they all preach together. So, yeah, I'm gonna cover the rest of this later. Thanks for watching.